America needs a tidal wave of the old-time religion.
I have sinned against you.
How dare you!
We have no need to doubt God.
The harlot Babylon is preparing the nations to receive the Antichrist.
I didn't even build that house with money from the church. I built it with money from my book. I don't make this stuff up.
Repenting of your sin.
It is a moral issue.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
I just enjoy seeing people worship, praising God.
Hey everybody, and welcome to
Believe It
or Not,
the show where we what do we do again?
We believe it.
Oh heck yeah, you got me there. Or do we?
Not?
Probably not.
Who knows?
I couldn't even remember the first part, so how do you expect me to believe it? Or believe it even?
Nobody's expecting our brains to be working properly right now with this heat. Am I right?
Man, it's too hot.
Turn
it down.
Who
did this?
The boomers, mostly. Gen X.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They say that Henry
Thank
Ford
you.
wanted... Yeah. I guess Henry Ford wanted to make an electric car like right after he made the Model T.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, the gas people are like, no, this is actually really good for us. So
Yeah, the gas people love this.
yeah.
They love it. I mean, look at it this way. If the coastlines flood, it just means more coastline for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? That's how that works.
That's how that works.
Just means the beach is closer. You buy cheaper property inland, and then it floods, and then you have beachfront property in a few years. So
exactly. Everybody wins.
Smart. If you're in the penthouse of like the tall buildings, you're fine because the flooding probably won't go that high, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're fine then. The other day I got in the elevator and
to go up or down,
and then to go up. So I'm at ground level. I live on 14th floor, and this guy gets in, and I was like, "Hey, what floor do you want?" Because I was by the thing. I was like, "I'll press it for you," and he goes, "Penthouse," but he said it like really fast and mumbled. So it took me a sec. I was like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "It's the P and the H."
What an asshole!
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I would have pressed every button after you stop if I was in there. Oh, okay. Well, fuck you, buddy. You're going to 15 and 16 and 17 and 18.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. But speaking of hot, speaking of it's summertime, as a child, when you used to be a child, what did you do in the summer?
No, never.
Did you have any special things you would do in the summer?
Well, we would just, hang out. We would go swimming in the pool. I remember one summer I watched a lot of Animal Planet, and I remember every weekend was a Crocodile Hunter marathon, and I watched a lot of Crocodile Hunter. So yeah, summer. How about you, Trevor?
Well, we did summer camp like as teenagers, but as kids, one week out of the year we would go to Vacation Bible School.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, it was interesting. You never went to VBS?
No, my family wasn't a religious family. We never went to church. Never did any of this stuff.
Or anything.
Thank fucking God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think my dad holds on to some like weird Catholic stuff from his side of the family.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked about this before where weirdly every once in a while it'll come out at like holidays and he's just like, who the fuck are you? Like, what is this? Why are we praying right now? I've never seen you do this ever. And now because it's Thanksgiving, you want to pray for some reason? Like, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I did 2 Vacation Bible schools actually in each summer, because what happened was when I was 6, my parents changed churches, and because they didn't like the church they were going to. But the church I was going to up until I was 6 was part of a interdenominational Bible study, a Bible school, VBS or DVBS for Daily Vacation Bible School. So, and it was a small town. So we used to go to this church in a small town, and then we moved and went to a church in a bigger small town. But the original small town,
a bigger small town, right?
Used to do. I mean, I don't know if they still do, but they would have all the churches in town be part of the same Vacation Bible School. So different parts were at different churches. So like the games were at one part, and the church service was at another. my mom ran it, so she was like in charge of the whole thing.
Mhm.
But then when we changed churches, they're like, well, can you still run it? And she's like, sure. So even though we didn't go to church in that town anymore, my mom was still
Right.
the director of the Vacation Bible School. So what we would do is, like, in September, she would pick the curriculum, which is usually, we'll get into how the curriculums work later, but we would get this big box with all this stuff in it, with the books and how to run it. And then she would get all the church ladies together, and they would have a monthly meeting at first, and then eventually a weekly meeting. And then it was like, okay, we're doing this. So it was like pretty much as soon as Vacation Bible School was done for the year is when you start planning for the next year. So it was like
this
this big event.
Was this all volunteer work too on your?
Yeah, it's all
mom's
volunteer.
behalf? That's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like planning a whole curriculum and doing all this shit for free?
For free every year.
Oh my God. What a racket. What a racket the church is, man.
Yeah, it's true.
What a fucking racket, man.
I feel like it was like 12 years of her running it.
12 years?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many hours of free work that she would have had to have done to do this?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I wonder if she was still alive, if she'd still just be doing it. Like,
wow.
Who knows? But
that's really crazy.
Yeah.
Like to put that much time and effort and emotional, like just stress to do this fucking thing for the church for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
And, and I remember loving it as a kid. But what we do is, so you go, and then in the morning they would have their little sing-song church thing where they
is that what they call
songs.
it? It's like, all right, we're gonna go to the little sing song now.
Yeah. And then you go into your Sunday school type classroom with that's like according to your grade, and then you learn all about Jesus there, or the Bible there, and then you go out and play games, and you get your freezies or your cookies. And for years too, my aunt was in charge of the food, and she was called the Cookie Monster. And she had a Cookie Monster puppet, and she would do the voice and stuff like that for all the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was. I was trying to look up pictures of it today because that was a good memory. A little bit about the history. It kind of started with, like tent revival meetings and stuff like that.
Yep.
So in the 1800s, that was like a big thing where they'd have all these tent revival meetings, and that's kind of what grew the inspiration. But what happened was this doctor. He was living in Charlottesville, and he got a job in New York City, and his wife, Virginia Sinclair Hawes. So this is in 1898. She obviously went with him, and she had been doing Sunday school stuff before that, and she noticed that there was, kind of the same story with how Sunday school started. She noticed kids playing on the street, and she's like, can't have that. Let's teach them about God.
Wait, why can't we have children playing on the street?
Because you gotta teach them about the Bible sometimes.
Why?
So they don't sin ever.
Right. What about all the other church things that they had to do?
Yeah, like their Sunday school. And
I don't know. That just seems weird.
Yeah. So she was part of Epiphany Baptist Church in New York City, and she rented beer tents. So there was these big beer parlors, and or I guess they weren't tents, but she rented these beer parlors and turned them into her everyday Bible school, so she called it. And then eventually the church was like, I don't think you should run that at the beer tent. Run it at the church. So she tried it at the church. It didn't work. So went back to the beer tent.
People like the beer tent.
Yeah. But apparently the reasoning being was it was meant for kids that don't normally do church stuff. So it was trying to get kids who don't normally go to church to get some Bible in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, it's problematic in itself. But
I mean, this goes right back to the whole like missionary work stuff, right? We're in the same boat, forcing your beliefs on other people because you think they're living their lives wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, she was Baptist. There was another guy named Lewis Miller who was a Methodist Episcopal bishop. And
he was on Saturday Night Live, wasn't he?
What's that?
Episcopal?
Yeah. Joe Piscopo. Joe Episcopal. Yeah. Sorry. Lewis Miller was an inventor, and
Okay.
John Vincent was the Methodist Episcopal bishop.
Mm.
But they were good friends. And Chateau they founded the Chautauqua Institute, and it was like a Sunday school thing in 1874, and they did a very similar thing. So this is a few years before Hawes did it, but Hawes is usually credited as like the creator of what.
Sorry, Haas, you
yeah,
lied.
sorry, Haas, you're out of here.
You're out. You're cut.
You're out.
Can't have it. We cannot have that. That's for sure.
So Robert Boville was this guy, and he knew about her stuff. So he started kind of working on moving it to other places and getting the word spread. And what he would do is he would actually hire elementary school teachers to teach because they were on summer vacation, so they would need extra money. Now it's usually always just run by volunteer, but at the time they're like, well,
So they
force
used to
people
pay
teach kids.
And then they're like, we don't got to pay.
Yeah.
We
They would
gotta
also charge kids, like the family, $1 for the 4-week program or whatever. And now it's usually free in most places. Vacation Bible School isn't like it's one of the things church actually pays for out of their pocket, even though they ask for money for everything.
Just not the people running it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't really have to pay for anything for it.
Yeah, not really. But then the pastor at the Epiphany Baptist Church, where it started, got a job at another church in Tennessee, in Chattanooga, and he liked the idea too. So he started a vacation Bible school there. They were part of the Southern Baptist Convention. We love Southern Baptists here.
Yeah, they're real great, real cool guys. All of them, every one of them. Do they just call it Vacation Bible School because it's usually like during summer vacation, or is there another reason for it? Okay.
Yeah, it's during summer vacation. Yeah, sometimes it's either DVBS or VBS. I don't know why they add the daily in there because it's only 1 week usually. So,
but you're doing it daily for that week.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, right? It's because it's not a sleepover camp, right?
No, it's not a sleepover. So usually it would go from like 9 in the morning till noon. So it wasn't even an all day thing.
Oh, it's only 3 hours in the afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, or in the morning. Yeah,
in the morning, right?
Yeah, which I don't know why I went every year. I'm not a morning person, and it was summer. Oh yeah, my mom was the director. right. So they had the Sunday school board already, the Southern Baptist Convention, and which became Lifeway Christian Resources, and they made a lot of different curriculums. So a number of different companies started arising that would make curriculums. Most popular for a very long time was Lifeway Christian Resources. And that was around 1924 that they started really doing stuff. And they would have their basic like curriculum that they made, and they made updated versions of it, but it was basically the same curriculum every year for like 50 years. And then in 1970 is when they started doing every year was a theme. So they would have some sort of like grand theme of what that year was going to be about, like the ocean or camping or cowboys or whatever. And
I mean, that definitely incentivizes you to come back each year if it's a little different. If it's exactly the same every year for 50 years, I mean, you go once, you've seen it all, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it incentivized the kids to come back, and it also made it so the churches would have to buy a new curriculum every year.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
it's all about the money.
Exactly. And it's around this time that a lot of other curriculums started popping up as well. So some of the companies that exist or have existed, Gospel Light was the one my mom used.
That just makes me think of is like we've got Gospel and Gospel Light.
Yeah, exactly.
Less calories, same great taste.
And I knew, I was like, okay, there has to be one company that they went to every year, because every single year when I was a kid, they had the word son in the name of the theme for the week. And it was SON, as in the Son of God.
Yeah.
So every year. So here are some of the names of the themes: Sunward Ho, Sun Mountain, Amazing. Oh, that one's combo breaker, but Amazing Journey to Bible Times. And then Sun Farm, Suntown, Kingdom of the Sun, Sunrise, Sunlight Island, Sun Castle Fair. Oh, so like a Ren Fair kind of thing. Sun Creek Junction, Sun Canyon River, Sun Harvest, Sun Games. Oh, I guess that was an Olympic year. Kingdom of the Sun. Oh, they just got lazy there. They just did Kingdom of the Sun again.
These are terrible names. All with Sun, like S-O-N?
S-O-N, yeah. And they would
They're
all have a
not
picture
even,
of Jesus like behind whatever the theme is. And
That's terrible. Awful.
yeah.
Lazy writing, no creativity.
No.
They couldn't have even done like cool puns or plays on words or anything. No.
2006 was Sun Treasure Island, so they just stuck Sun in front of Treasure Island. It doesn't even make sense. Like Sun Island would make way more sense than Sun Treasure Island.
Sun Island's pretty fucked up though too. Just like Sun Harvest.
Just all these little kids, all these boys.
Come on down to the church Sun Harvest.
What?
Excuse me? Well, I'll be there. Bring your sack.
And then Lifeway VBS. Some of the themes. So they were different. So that's the original, but like
Lifeway, the
for
one
Jesus,
they make the plant-based meat products, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's something like that. Yeah.
Oh no, that's Light Life. Sorry.
Oh right. Yep. Oh yeah. So like share hope, celebrate Jesus, fantastic journey, summer shine trail. So they're a little more creative, but not. It's still whatever. And then there was another company. There was Cokesbury VBS, Concordia VPS, Standard Publishing VPS. Nowadays, though, it's still going. It's still, a lot of churches will still do it, but it's like attendance is way down, like it is with any church, and a lot of churches have just stopped doing it. My church, so the other VPS I went to, the one my mom didn't run, they always just made up their own curriculum because that's not hard to do. So they didn't buy into these, and they had cooler stuff.
I know we're talking about these different curriculums that they bought, and this thing is only really a 3-hour program, correct?
Yeah.
So what exactly? Run me through like a standard, like what would happen in one of these days, just so I can kind of get a general idea.
Yeah, so you have that morning thing where everybody gets together and you sing and learn about God, and then you break off into like the Sunday school type classroom, and that's where you have your craft time. So that's where like every day there's a new craft that you make, something out of garbage and glue.
Yeah,
and then the craft always has something to do with whatever the theme is for that week, and always something to do with whatever the lesson is. So if you're learning about, Jesus telling his disciples to cast the net on the other side, then you would have some sort of fish themed craft. Right. So you'd make, fish out of
they just had the children
pieces.
Tying fishing nets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just send them out in the ocean. Yeah.
And that was basically all you did?
And then there was a game time. So you went outside and then you played games, and that's where you'd also get your treats and your snacks from my Aunt Rachel. I don't know if every VPS ever had my Aunt Rachel there, but I like to assume they all did.
She was at everyone. So what do you need to pay for a curriculum for if all it really is like a few basic lessons, and then you just make a craft and a game around it, right?
Yeah, and it's because you could buy T-shirts, so everybody has, all the leaders have the T-shirts for the theme, and then they give you tips on how to decorate the church and their theme, and then each of the crafts, they tell you what crafts to use and like the stories. And
I guess before the internet, this might have been a little easier, but I feel like with the internet, this is so easy to do now. Like you can get T-shirts printed easy, you can get all this stuff done so simply.
I never used for youth group. I never used a curriculum. I had a Sunday school class that I taught during my internship that I used a curriculum for, but I also just if I didn't like it, I would just write my own, and it's not that hard to
Right.
do.
For Sunday school, like, I mean, it's all the same book. Doesn't it just kind of cycle through the year anyway? And then once you're done one year, you come right back.
Yeah, basically, like what they would do is you'd find out what the pastor was preaching on, and then you'd have to create something around that. Or if you
So
had
you just
your own
copy what
curriculum,
they're doing.
basically you copy their theme and then you make it kid friendly.
Okay.
That's the way my church did it.
So
But
how did you deal with adultery?
Yeah, they would do things like for that, like they would just talk about cheating in general, like cheating on tests and stuff like that.
Right.
Kids, someday you're gonna get married and you're gonna get bored. You're gonna want to resist that temptation.
Or
and as well,
get a divorce.
Yeah, exactly. So now another thing too is that there's a lot less people who just have that much free time to run a program during the day.
Well, now it's a side hustle.
Yeah.
That you're not making any money for, but I feel like a lot of church people seem to have a lot of free time.
Yeah, I don't know what it is
to do this stuff. I don't know.
But a lot of churches are running them at night now instead of during the day, so that they can get more volunteers, because they were just having problems getting volunteers. And even for like summer camp, as an adult, I would volunteer at summer camp for a week every summer. But I would just have to take vacation time to do it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. But when you're like a student and like you're only working for 4 months a year anyway, like,
yeah, why would I take a week off of my 4 months that I'm working? That's insane. I don't know. I'm not volunteering for this shit. Fuck that, man. Pay me.
That.
You want me to be there? Pay me.
Exactly.
Your time's worth something.
Oh yeah. So speaking of themes, let's talk about some controversial themes that they had.
Oh.
Yeah. So
not adultery.
No, yeah, not adultery. So Gospel Light, the one my mom used, went bankrupt in 2019.
Yeah, 50% of the calories, 100% of the flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Gospel Light.
They created a curriculum called Roar, which was supposed to be like an African adventure.
Oh no!
And so they had African themes, African animals, and stuff like that. Pretty much, it looked like they were ripping off Madagascar, but they didn't get sued for that. But they did get a controversy. At one point, they referred to Africa as a country in the curriculum, as well as they had students making up African-sounding languages, like with clicking and stuff, which is very cringe. Well, they had kids pretending to be slaves.
Whoa! Wait!
In Egypt, so they used the Pharaoh story.
Hold on. Yeah. What?
Take as much time as you need.
They had them pretending to be slaves, much like the volunteers working for this program. Please continue.
Yeah. So they had the volunteers pretend to be Egyptians, and then the students were Israelite slaves from the Old Testament, and they had to make bricks, and the slave masters had to yell at them and call them lazy, and had to.
Why would you need to fucking do that at camp? Why would you need to do that anywhere?
Exactly. It's awful, and a lot of people were like, "This really minimalizes to what slavery is and how horrific slavery is to make it a game." It's
yeah.
So controversy there, but then they immediately went bankrupt, so not much they could do to make up for that. Lifeway, which is the Southern Baptist one, they in 2004 created a curriculum called Far Out, Far East Rickshaw Rally, Racing to the Sun. Yeah. And
oh God. Okay.
So a lot of people complained about it, and they're like, "No, it's fine." Like they're immediately like, "No, it's cool." But it was a lot of just like stereotypic Asian imagery, and I was watching some videos because some churches still have the video from that year online, and it's a lot of white people dressed in stereotypical Asian outfits and doing awkward bows and stuff, and with bad fake Asian sounding music. And it's very uncomfortable to watch. 10 years later, they officially apologized when a new person came on board as the director, and he's like, the first thing I'm going to do is say we don't
address with this. Yeah.
Don't. Yeah.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
it was like they decorated churches with chopsticks and takeout boxes, and leaders would wear kimonos and karate uniforms, and just a mix of different Asian cultures.
Yeah.
And which none of it made sense together, and it was just all problematic.
A lot of those cultures hate each other.
Yeah. This year, Answers in Genesis is a creationist, young Earth creationist organization that sucks, and they create their own curriculum. And this year, with Roe v. Wade, the curriculum is all around why abortion is bad.
Great.
So they got.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. That actually really tracks. So
yeah. They're Ken Ham is such an asshole too, and the company itself, you have to, in order to work for it in any capacity, pretty much, even working at the concession stands at the Ark Encounter, you have to be a professing young Earth creationist, and you have to agree with all their tenets. But
I mean, I don't see why you would want to work there if you didn't, though, to be honest.
No, but they got a big tax break because they said that it was going to be a great way to bring employment to the area, and then they don't employ people in the area.
You fucking assholes!
Yeah,
I'd be auditing the shit out of those guys and taking that money back. They're not going to.
There's been a lot of protests and stuff, and people are like, "Why are you protesting? It's just their beliefs." It's like, no, it's tax money that they're stealing. And oh man, did I mention it's really hot?
It's so fucking hot out. I was working on the patio yesterday, and I swear every time I was outside, I felt like I was walking around in slow motion.
Yeah,
it was just felt like I was walking on the sun.
I went outside for a little bit today and a little bit yesterday, but yesterday everybody smelled so bad, which is fine. I'm not blaming them. It's the heat. But whatever in the humidity, someone would walk by and that stench would just stay there for a while. It would just linger in the air around.
It was very stagnant. There was no breeze. And people were just squirting out their pits, man.
But anyways, so that's Vacation Bible School. I'm sure there's a lot more we could talk about, but that's that.
This doesn't sound like a vacation to me. It sounds like the opposite of a vacation. It sounds like a lot of work for the Lord that I don't want to do.
Every year we would have a coloring contest. So they'd
Did
have
you ever win?
I won every year. And won most years.
That is nepotism at its finest.
That's what people accuse. My mom refused to be a judge. She's like, I'm not going to be a judge. I have 4 kids here. I'm not going to be a judge. So they had other people, and most years I would win. And my one friend just thought it was nepotism. He's like, he would just get so mad every single year.
I mean, it kind of sounds like nepotism. So
no, I'm just a really good colorer.
I need to see it to believe it, and I haven't seen it yet. So,
yeah. Well, I'll send you some pictures.
All right,
very good.
put them up on the Instagram.
But let's thank some patrons.
Let's thank them. Thank you.
Oh my God! Wow! Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming to the Bible study. It's really great to see all your wonderful tiny faces.
So small, so tiny. Any bigger, we would be very uncomfortable. So thank you for keeping it tiny, keeping it small, manageable for us.
Exactly. And I just want to lift everybody up in prayer, and a huge prayer request for our friends, and huge thank yous to our friends Mandy, Jennifer, Celeste, of course, and we got Daria Fragile Fox. I apologize. Fragile Fox is cool too, but Fragile Fox.
Fraggle Rock is what you're thinking.
Yeah. And of course, our good buddy Dave.
And I've got a special prayer request today for our friend Jen. Now, Jen has been going out every night this week. It's summertime. That's what people like to do. They like to get outside. The thing is, though, that they have been going out to patios all by themselves, taking up tables of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all by themselves, just spreading out all their stuff. And like, listen, I think it's great that you want to get out there and you want to work, but you know, it's hard to come by a table. And I've been waiting for at least 45 minutes sometimes while Jen is there hogging the table all by themselves. So if they could please just either let me join them or just take up a smaller table, that would be much appreciated.
Amen. Hallelujah. And we lift you up to the Lord, and we lift you all up.
That's right. Unless, I'm sorry, Jen, if you had a reservation, I am sorry.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I might have just not seen the rest of your party yet. So
that's true. Could just be waiting.
Could have just been,
yeah.
Sorry.
Because Greg's always late. But yeah, amen and
amen.
FM.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
Do you know who Trisha Paytas is?
No. Should I?
Yeah.
Why?
We've talked. So she's a YouTuber. She's got like 4 million subs.
I don't care.
Yeah, she's the one though. She goes on H3 a lot. The H3 podcast. Yeah, she's the one who said we don't need gravity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I was watching something and we actually don't need gravity. Like if Isaac Newton had not invented it, we'd be fine. Like, what do you mean?
We don't need the concept of gravity.
Yeah.
We'd be fine not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
But
I guess if no one had have given it a name, then it wouldn't exist, right? Is that what they're implying?
No, they were trying to figure out what she meant, and she could not clarify it. She's like, we just don't need it.
Anyway, this person writes Christian music.
She decided she wanted to be a Christian artist a little while ago.
Wow.
And she wrote some Christian music.
It's nice to have someone with such a intelligent viewpoint putting out music there for the Christian youth of the nation.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she wrote a song called "I Love You, Jesus."
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah, it's called "I Love You, Jesus."
What a stupid 5-year-old name for a song.
Yeah, that's why I chose it to go with Vacation Bible School.
All right, let's hear it.
Remember when I hated my life and I said I didn't want to die, but I did. Now I know the reason why I'm so alive. It's because of the sky. Can you guess it right now? Are you wondering how? I found love so fast, and I know this love will last. How do I know? How do I know? He's with me from the start. He was always in my heart. Do I straight for here you are? Jesus, my superstar. I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus. You give me a reason. You give me hope. Jesus, never let me go. You can act bad or you can be good. And then it goes on like that.
This is really boring. Very, not very interesting. Very lame rhyming structure. Just sounds like she's writing about a shitty boyfriend that she's got too.
Yeah, it really does.
Not a great song.
Yeah.
But 4 million people follow this person.
Oh yeah, she's very popular. Yeah.
What does she do on YouTube exactly?
I think yeah, she does music and she does vlogging, like more vlogging and stuff.
Okay.
Right. Than anything. And
yeah. Social media is a curse.
Yeah.
It's a blight on society.
Yeah, it's true.
We're part of that, so
yeah, that's us.
Thanks for subscribing, guys.
Thanks, everybody, and thank you for being you. You're all wonderful, and we love you so much.
And thank you for following us, the anti-blight, the cure. Yes. To the thing that ails you, right? Yeah. That's what we're here for. Daily injections of our ear medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's banana flavored.
Yeah, Beautiful. Bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye, everybody. We love you.
Work, Sky Moon.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.